Hi, this is part 3. I was saying this morning I was walking around and I prayed to God and I asked God, what kind of YouTube video should I make? What kind of ideas can I have? Could you help me, God? What kind of video should I make to help people? And honestly, and a snap of a finger, came to me like a light bulb going on. I just heard the word AIDS in my mind. And then I heard instruct them, something like that. And I was like, wow, I got to tell you, this is the hardest. I'm still new to YouTube, but this made me the most nervous of all, because this is the most serious topic. And I don't know exactly how to go about it. But, I wrote down, I wrote down 38 pages of information. 38 pages of information that I looked up information on the internet. I'm going to try to make it concise. Anyone could get AIDS. There's the best way to avoid getting AIDS is to not have any sex. The 100% sure way to make sure you will not contract AIDS is by not having sex with anybody. That's the number one way. But since there's so many people having sex in the world, I'm going to tell you, if you can't stop having sex, then you need to have protected sex, safe sex. I mean, God looks at fornication or sex with anybody before marriage as a sin. I'm not going to judge you because I've sinned a lot in this life. So this is not about judging anybody. This is about helping you, loving you enough to tell you the truth. The sure way, 100% guarantee that you'll never get sick with AIDS, gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, or any of the other sexually transmitted diseases is by not having any sex at all. Or to have a relationship that is like a rated G relationship where you hold hands, you could go to a movie, go to a restaurant, laugh together, talk together, share your life together, but not have sex. Now, if that's not feasible, and you find yourself in a situation where you want to have sex, and no matter what, you're gonna have it, or in a weak moment you're gonna want to do it, then you better make sure that if you're a woman, that you make sure that the guy's going to wear a condom. And there's no guarantee you won't get AIDS. If he has AIDS and there's a hole in that condom, you could still get AIDS. If you're a gay man with another man and he puts a condom on and there's a tiny, microscopic hole in it, you could still get AIDS. So I'm not going to say, go ahead and, but I'm saying, from what I read, okay, the highest risk person is a male to male. That's from what I did in the research, and I wrote down 38 pages. The highest risk is man with man, or homosexual, man and man, That's the highest risk of that one can transmit HIV or AIDS to the other one the quickest that way, through anal sex is the highest way. The second is through sexual intercourse through the vagina, and oral sex. How do you get HIV or AIDS? I'm going to read from some of my notes because I did some research. How do you get AIDS, HIV or AIDS? HIV is spread through direct contact with certain body fluids from someone who has HIV or AIDS. HIV or AIDS, number one, it is spread through the blood. Or number two, it's spread through semen and free seminal fluid. That means through the man's penis. When he ejaculates or has a climax, or even before he ejaculates or climaxes, it's the free seminal fluid, or the clear fluid. Or it could be passed through rectal fluid and vaginal fluid and by breast milk. That surprised me. I knew that AIDS was passed through sexual intercourse with an infected person. Not everyone's going to get AIDS just because they have sex with somebody. It has to be with somebody who has the HIV or AIDS virus already in their body. And you can't tell. This is what I think. This is my personal opinion. If you have had any type of sex, whether you're straight or whether you're gay, whether you're homosexual, lesbian, gay person, transgender, bisexual, if you've ever had sex, even if it was 30 years ago once, I think that you need to get an AIDS test. Even if you don't have any symptoms yet, even if there's no symptoms, even if you just feel a little bit tired or chronically tired. Because, when you sleep with somebody, now watch, when you sleep with somebody, you're not only sleeping with that person, but you're sleeping with everyone that person slept with. So say you meet somebody at a bar, or you're in a relationship with somebody. But say you go out to a bar, or you meet somebody and you have a one-night stand, or you get in a relationship. But when you sleep with that person, either through sexual intercourse, oral sex, anal sex, any type of sex where there's an exchange of semen, vaginal fluid, rectal fluid, even with oral sex. Now, when you're with that person, you're not only with that person, you're with every single person that person ever slept with. From every person that person ever had any type of sexual contact with. So if that person was with one person, and that, if you're with somebody and they were with only one person, but that person had sex with 10 different people, then you've had sex with that person and those 10 different people. You follow how it works? So if you sleep with somebody and they've had sex with 100 people, then you've had sex with 100 people through that person. You follow how that works? So if that person, say you're dating somebody, say you sleep with that person and they've been with one person, or say they've been with 10 people, but they don't know if one of those 10 people had HIV or AIDS. How do they know unless they just don't know? They could look healthy. So the best thing for you to do is for you to get tested. And where do you get tested? You can get tested at the Department of Health. That is anonymous testing. You do not have to give your first name or last name. They just give you a number and they test you. Now, I had a blood transfusion more than once because I had my menstrual cycle extremely bad a few times, and I had to have a blood transfusion in the emergency room when I was really, really young. I was a teenager. I almost died. I mean, I lost a lot of blood, so I had to have a blood transfusion. But at any rate, when I decided to get the AIDS test twice, 2 times. I had more than one blood transfusion. But my AIDS test came back negative. I do not have it. Do not. Thank God I don't have it. I really didn't worry that much about it. I didn't really think I had it. But I wasn't sure. What happens is you go to the health department, they get like a Q-tip, they get something and they swab the inside of your mouth like that. Or they might prick your finger and draw your blood. You do not give your name. They give you some kind of number. You keep that number, and then they tell you to come back in about a week or 2. If they draw your blood, they're going to send it into a laboratory, and then the results will come back in a week or 2. I think you're going to get a date when to come back. Then you go up there, you give them your number, not your name. You could say that you want to keep it, anonymous. And then they let you know whether you have HIV or AIDS. Now, what's good about the health department is usually they have a counselor that will hopefully be compassionate if you find out the news that you have it. And if you really think you really might have it, if you have any best friend or any good friend, or that's the time maybe to call a pastor or whatever, somebody that you can confide in that won't blab their big mouth around that you think you have it, unless you want to keep it secret and not tell anybody. So anyway, I told you, how do you get AIDS? Okay, this continues.